Hello everyone, and this is the hydraulic machines lecture series, and the code of this series is ME317, and unit number 3rd and lecture number 23 is running. This is the BTech 5th sem mechanical engineering subject running in this Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. For my introduction, myself Rahul Kumar, Assistant Professor of Department of Mechanical Engineering, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. So, what is the today topic? And today I will discuss about the hydraulic actuator. Hydraulic actuator, this is the basic parts of the hydraulic system, and it gives the output of the system, or it provides the output effect of this hydraulic system. And here the actuating unit is attached which perform a specific task, and sometimes it may be called, this is a device or machine that helps to achieve the physical movement of the body by converting the energies, and in this energy, just like as a electrical or air or hydraulic mechanical force, simply put, it is the component in any machine that enables the movement of the system. So in the actuating units, this actuating unit provide a one way to how to actuators are work. It may be sometimes called a hydraulic cylinder. It may be sometimes called actuating units and actuating cylinders also. So these type of actuating cylinders are used in lift, cranes, and heavy lift devices, and JCBs, and where is hydraulic brake cylinder using these small actuators, and your damping systems controlled by the hydraulic actuators, and some units just like as a which perform the hydraulic action. We are used this type of hydraulic actuators, and in your vehicle, shock absorbing system. Shock absorber is also one kind of hydraulic actuators, right? And different kinds of things are associated with it. So just like it provides one type of cushioning effect of this hydraulic system, and with this type of hydraulic system we move to the objectives of this hydraulic actuators. So what are the objectives of the hydraulic actuators? For this purpose we can move in the next slide. So these are the objective function performed by this hydraulic actuator, and we can say that by the end of this section you should be able to understand about the actuator working and its functions. So here is some points are given here, and these points are: an actuator is a part of a device or machine that helps it to achieve physical movements by converting energy after an electrical, air or hydraulic into mechanical force. Means this is a device which converts the hydraulic energy into the mechanical work, right? So For that purpose actuator are used. That energy conversion, just like it convert the energy which may be electrical, hydraulic or pneumatic, etc. So these are the main function of this hydraulic is here is to perform one hydraulic task and provide the sufficient output to the hydraulic system, right? So this is the effect of or the main objective of the hydraulic circuit. Hydraulic actuators, and if I am talking about the hydraulic actuator, it converts the hydraulic energy into mechanical energy, and this conversion takes place by the one device. This device is called the hydraulic actuator, and these are the two types. First one is linear actuators and second one is rotary actuators. If any actuators perform the linear task means to and fro motion, this is called the linear actuator, and any actuators perform the rotating task. Rotating task means it produces a desired work at the time of rotating. So this is a rotary actuators, and we can say that an actuator is a part of a device. An actuator is a part of a device or machine that helps it to achieve physical movement. That helps to achieve the physical movement by converting energy often, and this energy, it may be electrical, it may be hydraulic, and sometimes it may be pneumatic case, but this energy converted only in mechanical force, means the hydraulic actuators provide a mechanical force at the output, and simply put, it is the component in any machine that enables movement, and it can provide say one movement to the output. And sometimes this type of function is compared to the human body. Suppose in the hand, this is a one type of actuating unit, but here the movement of this hand in the 3 degree, 6 degree of freedom, right? But in the case of actuator, it can produce only 2 degree of freedom, means left and right or up and down movement. This depend on the situation of this hydraulic actuators. And sometimes if I am compared this hydraulic actuator to a human body hand, so here in the human body function, just blood provide a pressure to the movement of this arm and other body parts. So here the muscles in the body that enable energy to convert the some form of motion, like the movements of arm, leg and other type of work. For that case, suppose in the human body, eyes are used to see the object, and hands are used to carry the workpiece and perform the different specific tasks, and the legs are used to create the workforce, just like as a moving from one point to any other point. It means legs are used to create the movement. So similarly, in the case of hydraulic systems or the pneumatic system, actuators perform the output work. And for the mechanical action. And generally, actuators are present in almost every machine around us. For simple electronic access control system and the vibrator on your mobile, here is one simple one thing I say simple type of actuators are present here. So any industrial application or any object which perform the some movement, so this is kinds of a one type of actuating action. And some household application to vehicles, industrial devices and robots. These are the robot is a very good example for the actuating unit. And some examples are actuators include electric motors, stepper motors, jack saws, electric muscular simulations in robots. So these kinds of area also covered by the actuators, means hydraulic actuators. And the hydraulic function, this is a very important function for any all kinds of machines. So we move to the next slide. If I am talking about the linear actuators, and the linear actuator produces linear motion as its output. So this is very useful in different kinds of applications like cup drying and lift also. It creates a different good of applications. And linear actuator is an actuator that creates the motion in the straight line. It always produces a motion in the straight line. In hydraulic aircraft landing gears also uses the linear actuators. And linear actuators are used in different machine tools and industrial machinery, and in valves and dampers, and in many places where linear motion is required. And these actuators are, it may be hydraulic or pneumatic, depend on your system. But the final function of this actuator is produce a linear movement, and many other mechanisms are used to generate linear motion from rotatory motion. For this is a one kind of rack and pinion mechanism which provide the rotary motion into the linear motion, right? But in this case is directly conversion of energy, means it convert the hydraulic energy into the linear motion of the workpiece, right? So these are the different kinds of actuators are here. First one is single acting actuator, double acting actuator and double rod cylinder. These are the three types of actuators which provide a linear movement at the output. And these three actuators perform different tasks and different operation for all the case. So for the case of single acting cylinder, so this is the case of single acting cylinder. In this cylinder, fluids is incoming and outgoing only for the one port is present here. Suppose in this port, this port is responsible for the inlet of the port, and sometimes it is outlet of the port if unit is not actuating. But this port use the both operation, inlet and output. So if I am talking about the parts of this actuator, so this creates a different types of parts. First is fuel supply. This is the fuel supply line, and this is the piston, and this black region of this piston, this shows the seals, piston seals, which provide the leakage of the hydraulic cylinder. And this is the spring. this is the spring loaded valve, and these are the relief vents which is used to suck the air at the time of if the piston is retracting mechanism, and if the time and it this relief vents, it creates a air vents, just like if piston is extending position. So, and this is the output shaft. This is the output shaft which perform the desired action to complete the operation of this or complete the mechanical work, right? Here the two type of single acting cylinder exist. One is the spring return and another one is spin extended. Means this spring work very helpful to the process of returning stroke, right? And it complete the returning stroke. The most common type of spring return cylinder, in the spring return cylinder, the spring is located between the front end of the cylinder and the piston, and in this design the piston rod extend when compressed the air or fluid. In this case, this if any fluid comes inside the cylinder, then piston pushes this spring. Piston pushes this spring, and this is the extended stroke of this actuator. But at the time of reduction stroke, means returning stroke, the fluid supply is cut off. Fluid supply is cut off by the direction control valve. At this case, this spring restores the force, and this restoring force gives a apply this force on the back side of the piston, and this will help to fluid is moves from this port to direction control valve to the reservoir, and this is the returning stroke of this piston. And here are the some advantage for using single acting cylinder, and it using this type of system using less tubing, means less tubing arrangement. Here the single fluid line is used to send and return the fluid inside the cylinder, and here the less use of the fluid is required, and less if less tubing is required, so less wiring is also required. And the single acting cylinder, it creates some disadvantage. If spring is fails, so the actuating unit does not perform properly, and the spring takes place a space and limit the working stroke of the cylinder further. So it's means this spring takes some space inside this cylinder. So at this spring is this consumption of the spring space, it reduces the size of the stroke. It reduces the size of the stroke. So, and the spring force reduces the pneumatic force. And one more disadvantage for the single acting cylinder, this some hydraulic force gives some gives or the hydraulic force consumes some force to the contract the spring, right? So this is a one form of single acting cylinder, and then move to the double acting cylinder, and this is the forward stroke of the cylinder, right? This is the case of double acting cylinder. In the case of double acting cylinder, here the fluids enters at the one end and goes at the other end. So in this type of cylinder, it provides the fast return stroke and the less time required to the extension of the cylinder. And this type of cylinder is used in many hydraulic applications, like as a JCB cranes and lifting systems, and where this type of cylinder where it is used, where the large moment force is required and large stroke length is required for the cylinder. So in this type of cylinder, here this shows the forward stroke, and here this is the returning stroke, right? This is the returning reverse stroke of this fluid line. So here two fluid lines are required. Two fluid lines of the required for the one is for the forward stroke and another for the reverse stroke. And in this case, some extra accessories are used, just like a check valve, pressure reducing valve, and some direction control valve. This is very sophisticated because minor mistake creates a very big problem. And similar to the single acting cylinder, here seals are also used. These seals, and this provide the leak proof action. They provide the leak proof action. And this is the cylinder body. Here this is the cylinder body, and same as the single stage cylinder, this is the output shaft. So the main advantage by using double acting cylinder, it creates a large amount of force compared to single acting, because in the single acting cylinder the spring consumes some amount of force. Spring consumes the some amount of force, but in the case of double acting cylinder, here spring is not attached. So only movement is provided by the action of the fluid. In the case of hydraulic fluid is used, and in the case of air, in the case of pneumatic cylinder, if air is used for the rotation of the for the movement of the cylinder or piston movement, right? So, and one more advantage for this case, this advantage is just it gives the more stroke length. It gives the more stroke length compared to single stroke cylinder, because of here spring does not require any space, right? So this is not very heavy. This is a very light and weight cylinder, but it creates a large work compared to single acting cylinder. So move to the next case of this is the double cylinder. Here this figure shows the entry and exit of the fluid and the forward stroke of the cylinder. F denotes the forward and R is the reverse, and here in this left side of this port fluid is enters, and the right side of the port fluid is back to the reservoir. And this slide shows the double rod cylinder. In this, the work function is performed in the both cases. Here cylinder is connected, the output shaft is connected to the both end of the piston. If is provided a double action, right? At the time of forward stroke, it provides a in the left side as a reduction stroke, but in the right side creates a extension stroke of the cylinder. But if this process is reverse, so it creates a extension stroke at the left side of the cylinder, and reduction stroke at the right side of the cylinder. So here this is similar to the double actuating cylinder, but only difference is in between these two output shaft. Here both end connected to the output shaft here. So the advantage is here it provide the two-way work in this extension and return stroke, and it is very simple to operate, to do the design, and design it is very simple, but it produces this work. This is sometimes it may be very complex, right? So we move to the second type of piston actuators. These are the rotary actuators, and in this rotary actuators, they produces rotary work. The rotary work, or this rotary work creates some rotary motion as its output. And in this type of actuators, we can say that a rotary actuator is an output device. For a fluid power system that delivers an oscillating motion over a limited range in less than one full revolution of the circle. And for the case of the rotary actuator, produces work by direct action of the fluid pressure against internal vanes. Here work is defined as a force applied over a distance, and the rotary actuator produces a simple type of rotational work. But in the case of rotary actuator, the work is defined as a force applied over a distance, and the rotary actuator produces a special type of rotational work, and this work is called the rotational torque. And torque occurs when a force acts on a radius, since rotary actuator operates at low speed with high torque, and torque output rather than the horsepower is used for rating and identification purpose. And speed is a secondary consideration when choosing a rotary actuators for a particular application. So here the rotary actuator provide a very less movement, and it provide a very less power, provide a very slow movement of this function work. And it can provide some simple, it cannot rotate with full oscillation, means full one rotation. It can rotate only some fixed arc, means some 70-degree arc or 60-degree, and you perform a 190-degree function. So this kind of actuators is very beneficial for the actuating the aircraft control surface, and aircraft control surface are moved by this type of actuators. So different kinds of actuators are used for this purpose, just like as a aileron, elevator, rudder, and spoilers are activated by this type of, because this type of surface want a fixed movement in the rotational field. So suppose this is a one actuate aircraft wing, but in this wing just flap it down in the 30-degree angle, so it provide a rotational movement at the 30-degree, right? So this is a very good actuator for the case of provide a rotational movement. So these are the different types. First one is rotary vane actuator, and second is rack and pinion actuator. And rack and pinion actuator is already is subdivided into the two groups. First is single cylinder rack and pinion actuator, and second is double cylinder rack and pinion actuators. So let's move to the rotary vane actuator. This is a one type of rotary vane actuators which provide the some kinds of 270-degree action. This is the vane seal, and this is the actuator shaft, and here this is the outer section of this cylinder, and this is the secondary barrier, and this barrier shows the gives the partition of the two types of pressurization liquids. Two type of pressurization liquid, one is for the forward stroke and another one for the reverse stroke. So this is the P1 port, this is the one port, and this is the second port. If I am send the fluid at this type of liquid, so it creates a pressure force at this point, and this rotates this actuator shaft into this clockwise direction. And after some times, if you want to rotate this anti-clockwise, then you send the fluid from at this end. And this action provides a downward movement, and creates a anti-clockwise rotation for the shaft. So this is the, and with the help of the lock nut, you can fix the operation of this cylinder at the one specific angle, and this can be done by the lock nut. And the one mechanism, this is the check valve mechanism. Here this is a case of a single cylinder rack and pinion arrangement, and this is a one type of single cylinder rack and pinion actuators. And in this actuators it provides two pistons. This is the left piston and this is the right piston. In between left and right piston, this is the free space, and this free space provide the this is the connected to the one pinion, and which provide the rotational movement of this. Here if I am talking about the working procedure of this type of actuators, and this is the forward stroke, and this is for the reverse stroke. This is depending on the action of the hydraulic actuators. So in this type of actuator, it perform the rotational output. If this piston moves from the forward stroke, this moves from right to left, so it creates a pinion. At this pinion, it creates a clockwise movement, and if piston is moved from left to right, so it creates a anti-clockwise movement. So this is the working operation of this cylinder, right? And then move to the next. This is the double cylinder rack and pinion. This is the double cylinder rack and pinion mechanism. In this cylinder, two rack and pinion, two racks are used to drive the single pinion arrangement, and it creates a very high force at the pinion. So it is used to rotate the different kinds of high pressurization valve and other kinds of applications they are used. So here if this upper side rack is moved in the left to right side, then the downside rack is moved to the right to left side. So it creates a clockwise rotation at the output movement. So here is the, if I am talking about the operation of this operation means construction. So here two cylinders are used, two cylinders and four pistons, two cylinder and four piston, two racks and one pinion are used to give the output shaft, and this pinion is connected to the output shaft, which complete the operation of this perform the operation of the hydraulic system. And most of the working are similar to the single acting rack and pinion arrangement, right? These are the different kinds of special type of actuator. This is the piston actuators, and they can withstand higher input pressure, and it can offer small cylindrical volumes, and they are generally used where a stroke of a diaphragm actuators would be too short or the thrust is too small. So this type of actuators used in many industries. So this is the figure of this piston actuators, and similar to diaphragm valve, here is a one actuator is called the diaphragm actuator. This is the special case of the actuators, and in this actuator they have compressed air applied to a flexible membrane called the diaphragm, and they are single acting, that is air is supplied from the single side of the diaphragm. So this type of actuators only used for the perform some specific task, right? So these are used as a air as a fluid medium, right? And this is the valve motor drive, and this actuator is called the electrical actuator. This is used to open the very large this requires the movement, means that function requires the very large excessive force. In the case of open the sluice gate in the dam, right? So the basic version of this electric actuators has three states. First one is driving the valve open, driving the valve closed, and the no movement. And the controller position the valve by the driving the valve open or closed for a certain time to ensure that it reaches the desired position, valve position, and its feedback may be used with some controllers. Means here what type of feedback is given? This type of feedback is given by some controllers to give this feedback, perform the specific task of the controller is here. So this is the special case of the actuators, and this is the modulating type of actuator, and this is the very special case of actuator. It is used to drive some very precise instruments or a very accidental case for this type of actuators. And in order to position the control valve in response to the system requirement, as a modulating actuator can be used, and these units may have higher rated motors and may have a built-in electronics. A positioning circuit may be included in the modulating actuators, and for this aspect here typically 0 to 10 volt voltage, DC voltage are used here, and current is 4 to 20 milliampere. The actuator then imparts this control signal as the valve position between the limit switches. And to achieve this, the actuator has a position sensors, usually potentiometer, which feeds the actual valve position back to the positioning circuit. In this way, the actuator can be positioned along its stroke in the proportion of the control signal. So this is a other kinds of actuators. Then move to the next portion of this lecture. This is the MCQ. For this MCQ section, which is not an output devices, So here are the four options are given: 7 segment display, liquid crystal display, lithium battery display, and the lithium battery. So lithium battery is not a output devices, right? So move to the next option. In this, who invented hydraulic press? Here are 4 options is given. First option is Norbert Wiener, Joseph Burma, and Charles Young, and Charles Wheatstone. And the correct answer for this question is here Joseph Brown, right? And this next is here. What is the push provided by hydraulic fluid used in fluid based actuator? If the steel ball of radius 3 cm is immersed in it, given that the fluid has a density of 1200 kg per meter cube, take G equal to 10 meter per second. So what is the force is required? So here the radius of the ball is 3 cm. Find the area, and then find the pressure, P equal to rho GH, right? And then you given this fluid is, the correct answer is here 1.3586 Newton, right? So this is the force. Correct answer is D is the correct answer. And then 4. What controls the direction of the flow of oil? Pressure relief valve, direction control valve, flow control valve, and actuator. So B is the right answer for this question. Direction control valve is used to control the direction of this flow, right? And this is a numerical question problem. So what is the push rod provided by this? Here is 3 cm given by this given water has a density of 1000 kg per meter cube, and wood has a density of 900 kg per meter cube, and take G equal to 10 meter per second square. So here what is the correct answer for this question? So the correct answer for this question here 4 option is given: 1.695, 3.2 Newton, 2.26 Newton, and 1.13 Newton. So the correct answer is here D option is the correct answer for this question. So 1.13 Newton. And next is, what is the push provided by a hydraulic fluid used in fluid based actuators? If a steel ball of radius 3 cm is immersed in it, given that the fluid has a density of 2000 kg per meter cube, take G equal to 10 meter per second. And push means what is the force provided by the actuators. So force equal to pressure into area. So here is correct answer is 2.26 Newton. Then C is the correct answer for this question. This is the question number 7. What is the push provided by an hydraulic fluid used in the fluid based actuator if the steel ball is 3 cm? So the correct answer is here A is the correct answer, 1.695 Newton. This is the correct answer of this question. Which component of hydraulic system is used to store the sufficient amount of hydraulic oil? Rotary pump, oil reservoir, flow control valve, and pressure gauge. Here B is the right answer, oil reservoir. This is the correct answer of this question. Which among the following are not the work parameter of the fluid? First one is direction, speed, pressure, temperature of the flow. Pressure, temperature of the flow is here. So these are the some kinds of so here is a temperature of the flow. This is not a work parameter of the fluid. This is the last question of this lecture. And which among of the following are not the main selection criteria of the control valves? This is the type of the actuation, environmental condition, space requirement, and software support. So D is the correct answer for this question. D is the software support for this right option of this, or this is the right answer for this question number 10 is here. So these are the references, and references just like engineering fluid mechanics KL Kumar, fluid mechanics and machine, AK Jain, fluid machines VLST per and MC Grail, fluid machine and application SK Gupta and VK Gupta for the new age publication. Then move, and thank you for this course lecture, for your valuable time also. Thank you all of you. Thank you.